Hello everyone and welcome back to One Up Racing, of course. Last time out we were at the Brazilian Grand Prix and where we saw Bear take his second win in a row. So he has been truly a man on fire at the moment. But as you can tell, we have a new man in our main comms. Of course, Bryn, as Jamie will be taking over the tier above us, the podium tier. So yeah, we have Bryn here in tonight.
Hello. Sorry, I don't know what to say. I'm new to One Hub Comms. I've done PSGL before, so this is a new experience, but I'm really looking forward to it. Hopefully,
of course.
Sorry.
Of course, in Media Day in One Hub Racing, we had in the drivers' press conference we had Craig Senna, of course the Ferrari driver. He's been on a decent run of form, but he has been slipping up ever since the start of the season. Of course, he was in the media day. He was questioned. You started your season on a high, but you failed to reach the top 3 in the last 3 rounds. Does this give you less confidence on your championship hopes now? And he responds with, apologies, he seems to have not responded. So, of course, if you do respond in media day, you do have a chance of running for an award sponsored by one of One Hub sponsors, of course. But of course, if he hasn't came up with a answer, unfortunately. But in the team's press conference, we did have Racing Point and Haas. Of course, Haas hasn't been a team on the top stepping podium or any of the tiers this season, and Racing Point they've been familiar territory near the top of the constructors, but they're failing to deliver in prospect. Of course, in the prospect tier, they have TJW and Busch Lightyear. With only TJW in the lobby. They've not been on a good run of form at the moment. Hopefully they can bring back up the pace and bring Racing Point back up to the top of the constructors and actually make them put them in the running.
Yeah, hopefully. I'm just going to quickly come in with some track facts tonight, if that's okay. So, tonight we will be racing around the 6.003 kilometre track, or for people that use miles, is 3.730. We have 20 corners to navigate, including the castle section, which is very renowned for crashings, including, you look at Charles Leclerc, his crash was so typical, because the fact of, if you lose that moment of concentration, you will end up in that wall. Hopefully we do not see any drivers crash into there, but it is highly likely. Also, we have 26 laps of the Baku Grand Prix track, which is also another concentration factor. Because of it being such a long track, the drivers are going to have to keep that attention span there, making sure that they don't make a simple mistakes. Because like every street track with the tight walls is going to cause a problem for the drivers, because concentrating is just the main problem for them. Corner cutting will be on strict like usual, and it is a counterclockwise track with the mandatory 2-stop. The tyres that we will be using today, though, are the C4, C3 and the C2. There is about a 1.2 second gap between the C4 and C3, but the C3 and C2, there's another 0.6 there, creating a roundabout between the C4 and the C2, a 1.8 second gap. Also, every time that you pit in, there is a 17.5 second time loss.
So then, Bryn, what do you think about the Baku track, personally?
I'm personally a big fan of it. I think it really keeps the drivers on their toes, because it's not about, like in real life, how you got to worry about the performance of the car. It's not like that. It's a track where you need driver skill and focus, because the walls being so close to the edge of the track, one slight mistake, that could be your race over.
Yeah, of course, we can see a potential of a lot of moves being happening, and of course we have the very, very long straight, start-finish straight, which leads directly into a heavy braking zone, 90-degree left-hander, where we could probably see a lot of overtakes happen tonight. Hopefully, another action zone on the track, of course, is turn 3, which is just after the second DRS straight, where we could also see a lot of moves happen tonight, inside or outside. Either one is possible. Let's just hope these drivers give each other enough respect and enough space to allow this racing to happen. But of course, the infamous castle section, that's going to be a very difficult part of the track. You know, you definitely cannot take that too wide. it's even a struggle to take it one wide on your own because of how tight it gets, especially through the middle of it. So it'll be definitely interesting to see how these drivers can tackle it. And I'd say the final action zone really of this track would be turns 18 and 19. Of course, the flat out left-right hand. If you're on worn tires, like worn mediums or worn hards, that sequence of track could end up being a death trap for you.
Yeah, very much so, because of course, as the tyres do wear, there will be more likeness that the car will slide about. With there being less, also there might be a less contact patch there if you're running higher tyre pressures. But in this game, it's very natural to run very low tyre pressures. So,
but of course, bringing in media day once again, we do have our history and track guide where we have our drivers who are hot and cold. This is where we find out which drivers are in good form and compared to drivers which seem to be lacking in form, let's say. But of course, a driver in form at the moment is, of course, Salty Bear. The lobby is now beginning to get ready. Of course, Salty Bear, 2 wins in the last 2 rounds. He carries a 26-point lead into the second half of the season, having finished on the podium in all but 1 races this season. Is it really their championship to lose? And of course, Salty Bear, he's been on fire at the moment, of course, but he has made those mistakes, those crucial mistakes, during the first part of the season, which really cost him a lot more points gap. But he is the qualifying man. He's gotten pole so many times this season, and I think another win could definitely be on the cards for tonight. And of course, a driver who isn't in form is Truth NRP. You know, he started the season really well, but he's just been on a bit of a downward trend at the moment. But hopefully the second half of the season he can prove himself and bring the fight back to Salty Bear. Of course, he did make some really good moves in Brazil, so let's just hope he can carry that form, or that bright spell of form, into Azerbaijan.
yes, very much so. As we're now getting underway for the 18-minute qualifying session, the drivers will now hopefully be putting on their setups if they have one, and then we'll see who's going to be the first one out on track.
Looks like we do have a sunny qualifying session here tonight, so it was no excuses for these drivers to set the fastest lap time possible. Of course, we do have 17 drivers. 3 unfortunately are missing, but still quite a good turnout for these guys, and just wonder who'll be getting pole position here tonight.
Yes, as info from Gaza says that it is dry throughout the whole session and in the race.
Yeah, it's dry. It's going to be a bug standard Azerbaijan Grand Prix then. Unfortunately, there's not going to be any rain to spice things up, but you can never really complain with a full dry race.
No, you never can. As now the first driver out on track is Kingen _79, followed by the McLaren of a Salty Bear.
So we have Kingen. He is the Williams driver. He's been having a bit of a quiet season, mainly running in the midfield pack. Hopefully he can get a bit of a surprise result and help the Williams team move up in the constructors. But yeah, it's been a solid season for him so far.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sorry, I can't comment because I haven't seen anything. But if he has, that's good news for him and everything.
It's understandable.
As we now see him coming towards the infamous tight left-hander, which has caught many people out in the past with damage and general crashes.
Of course, running through your constructors before these drivers begin their hot lap. We do have Ferrari. They are leading the constructors on 117 points. We have McLaren in second place, Renault in third, fourth we have AlphaTauri, fifth we have Red Bull, sixth we have Haas, seventh we have Williams, eighth we have Alfa Romeo, ninth we have Williams, and last we have Racing Point. So yeah, it's Racing Point. They were in the press conference for that reason exactly. They've not really been having the best of seasons in the prospect here.
Yeah, which is sad news because Racing Point are very much a team that you'd expect to be up towards the top of the grid, but obviously it's not ending up very well for them right now. So as Kingen is now coming through to end his sector 1, it's looked very clean apart from turn 1 where he went a bit wide, but that car looks very stable in his hands. Now heading through to the castle section now, the tightest part of the whole track. Will he make a mistake? Hopefully not, as he gets on the traction as early as possible, braking as late as possible. Oh, missing both walls perfectly. Coming onto the exit now, running as wide as he can on the exit without getting an invalidation, because that is a problem around here. The white line is the edge of the track. If you ever so much touch that with your outside wheels, your lap is over. Will he take the esports line? No, he does not. He chooses to take the normal line through. Now coming through, final sector now. Mainly just a straight, the final sector, so nothing much to comment about right now. Heading to the line, DRS going to be opened in now as quickly as possible. Very good reaction from the driver to get the DRS open. And he sets a Salty Bear goes faster with a 1:38.6 straight away.
Yeah, it's a really good lap time from Asuti, but of course you're new here, but this all season long he's really been setting these stunning lap times and just distancing himself from the field. But of course, you did mention the esports line, I believe it was that around turn 16, I believe it is, isn't it?
Yes.
Give us a rundown on how it works, because I've never heard of it before.
Basically, the drivers cut the corner as much as possible, and it doesn't give them an invalidation, weirdly, so it is most likely used in esports, for example. That's why I called it the esports line, because it is most commonly known as that. And basically where you brake as early as possible, but then you turn in very sort of late.
Okay.
As
Yeah,
now
so
Alex,
you see some of these drivers utilize it.
yes. Only problem with using it is though you have to be very cautious, because of the fact of if you carry that too much speed, you will just be bounced straight into the wall. You've got to be very cautious when taking it.
Of course. But on board with Alex Lilia, he is on a lap time right now. He did just complete the first sector, and is now about to go through the quick left-right hander. He goes a bit deep going in through the first part, but he was able to tidy it up quite nicely. And then braking through turn 7, heavy braking zone. Yeah, of course, it's very easy to get an invalidation there if you just go a little too over the curb on the inside, but taking it nicely through castle section, quick left, right, left, very difficult, but he's managed to survive through there, and he's been on a very conservative lap, but it's been a tidy lap so far. Yeah, through the second sector, it's all flat out through here. Braking towards turn 16, he gets onto the curb, and that causes him to tap the wall a little bit, but I don't think that's hindered him too much. Then through the final of the heavy braking zones, and to third gear, he's taking that very well. There's a car in front of him, hopefully it doesn't block him, it was a Red Bull, but he got out of the way very nicely, and then through left, right hander of turns 18 and 19, then it's just a long dash down to the finish line, because he has the DRS open through about the first quarter of it, so it's a quick run to the line. Where can this lap time put him? Puts him into P7, starting lap time from Alex Dilia, and back into that infamous 7th position that he's come so fond of this season. Of course, we do have Liam though. He is on the mediums, and he's only 5/10 off from Zach Jarvis, and he's ahead of quite a few of the soft runners. So what do you think about the mediums here, especially with the 2-star? Do you really think it'll work?
I think it will work, but the fact of he will lose time by starting on the medium compound, as of course, Craig Senna almost hit the wall and almost did a Charles Leclerc then. But yeah, it's a very bold way to go. He's wasting a set of mediums, but in my opinion, I wouldn't have done that, because the medium compound, though they could be good to start on, you're going to be using the softs anyway, so you might as well qualify onto the soft compound and then go onto the mediums mid-race, as Jacko and Alpha have retired from the session.
It seems they made a mistake in the second sector, maybe got a bit of understeer and just completely binned it. But yeah, as you're saying, Liam, yeah, maybe the mediums may not work as a starter, and maybe Liam has taken that because he's now onto the soft compound of tyres, where he's going to try set the fastest lap time and go for that pole position spot. Of course, we do have Liam. He has been on a bit of a charge the second half of the first part of the season, and got himself up into P3 in the standings, and only 3 points behind Truth NRP on 66 points. So he's been on a good run of form at the moment. Hopefully he can continue that form into the second half of the season and mount a bit of a title charge.
Yeah, hopefully he can. As I'm just going to quickly read a comment from the chat. Alpha F1 has said, I am stupid. So that's given me the idea that he has crashed in the castle section. Sorry. As we are now
looks like castle section taking its first victim.
Yes, very much so. So I'm now on board with VTSR Storm, who is about to finish the first sector with a 36.0. Currently putting him with one of the slower first sectors. Currently has the third or fourth, I think it's the third slowest first sector. So not looking too good for him, but can he find more time throughout the lap to jump ahead of the drivers ahead of him? Because of course him and his teammates still have not set a lap. Ooh, as there is a collision.
Tell you what, third on the grid, yeah, we did have Storm. He was on the lap time, and he was on a solid lap time. It was very tidy, but right behind him we had Truth NRP. He got a very nice slipstream from the back of the Mercedes driver, and that moves him up into P4. And surprisingly, we have VSMT Adam up into P3. But of course, the Mercedes drivers, they've not been having the strongest of seasons this far, 9th in the standings, but Adam, that was a very good lap time from him to put him up in so high up the grid. And could we see a charge from Adam in this race?
Could be very possible, because this is a very much, like I said earlier, a driver skill track and not a performance base. I know it's on equal cars, but still, the driver skill here needed is very much important. Otherwise, you might as well just let the faster guys through, because it's so hard to get in the right zone around this track. Because you say turn the wheel one too many centimeters or something on the pad, you move the joystick too much, that's your race over, because you could be straight into the wall.
Yeah, and just, yeah, as he says, this really is a driver skill track, and you have to be, it's just the precision needed to get a really good lap time, especially at a track like this, a street circuit, where timing is imperative. It's really good for VSMT Adam to get a really good lap time on the board there, and hopefully he can improve on that in the final part of this qualifying session to really cement his position. Because
yes,
judging by how close the grid is at the moment, that might fall.
Yeah, as Kingen has actually gone P6, make that now P7, as Liam has gone, oh no, who was that? That was Astronauti, has just gone ahead of him and taken P6 off of him.
And of course, Astronauti is a driver. He's not really had the best of luck this season, but you know, he did get involved in some incidents where he did get forced to go into the alternate strategy and have to run hard. But he is a quick driver. He has been amongst the top 6 in pace, I believe. He has shown that potential, but maybe his luck for the second half of the season might just turn around and he could finally get some good results on the board for the AlphaTauri team, because they've really not been having the strongest of seasons down in 8th in the standings. Of course, him and Jacko, they're two decent drivers, but it's just the luck hasn't really gone their way, unfortunately.
Yeah, as we do see that he's in P3 with a 39.405, and his teammate Jess is down in P14 with a 44.778. Of course, she did set that on this medium compound, so she is going to most likely improve with them soft compounders. I'm now currently VTSR Storm is coming on to the final straight now to complete his lap. He's done 2 laps on them soft compound, which is very interesting. Putting a lot of wear onto them tyres. Could hinder him at the start though. Will he pit in after this lap, or is he going to go? Yes, he is pitting in. He is backed off.
Yeah, of course. Whenever you make a mistake on the first compound on your first run, of course that may force you to have to try to set a second lap on those same compound of tyres, but that does add risk, especially at a track like this, where I believe it's the rear tyres that just completely go when the tyres are nearing the end of its life, isn't it?
It is, because the front tyres, though they do take a lot of abuse, they are not as bad as the rears, because the traction zones here are so awkward that of course you do tend to get that wheel spin that you don't want, putting that extra wear onto the tyres. So yeah, the rears do go off more than the fronts.
Yeah, so hopefully he can improve on his lap time, but of course he is outside of the top 10, so that wouldn't mean he will be starting on those tyres, of course. But hopefully he can match his teammate and get himself up the grid and really mark a bit of a redemption drive for Mercedes and maybe fix their season.
Yep.
But of course we are nearing the final stages of this qualifying session. Everyone's in the pit lanes getting ready to set their final flying laps, but we have a Soti there. He's still on pole position, but we have a Gaza man who is only a 10th off. Of course, Gaza, he's a very good driver and 5th in the standings. He does have these moments where he just completely shines, and this looks to be one of those moments, nearly matching a Soti there, but it all depends now in this final qualifying run whether Soti Bear will just pull away with it and set one of those blinders he usually does.
Yes, so I'm now on board with Craig Senna, who is coming to the end of the first sector. Ooh, cutting it very fine then, losing a lot of time, and he is backed off of his lap time. He is currently the only one. Salty Bear is going to be the closest to set a lap time now, as I'm going to go on board with the current pole man. With his not overtake mode, sorry, hot lap mode is now enabled in that McLaren. Holding out 7th gear until to try and get the most torque out of that engine. Now 8th with the DRS wide open, max now at nearly 338 kph. Holding 3rd gear, very clean turn 1 from the McLaren. Going into turn 2 now. Same story yet again, very clean. DRS wide open. Braking at 100, hitting the first apex very, very well. Now coming to the end of sector 1, is he up on his time or will he be down? He is currently a 10th down according to the game. Which he is a 10th down. Heading through the castle section now. Very infamous for crashes, but he took that sweetly. That car looks very stable, as that is going to be an invalidation.
Of course, that's huge for Soti Bear, especially when you have Gazaman, who looks to be like a man who is who's really used to this track and is really feeling good. He's about to start a lap time. With Soti Bear invalidating his lap, that could really put him in trouble for pole position.
Yes, very much so. As Gazaman has actually got the fastest second sector, the most important part of the track, but currently having the fastest last sector is Truth NRP, which is interesting. So first and second have Purple Sector 1 and 2, but 5th place has Purple Sector 3, so could we see Truth NRP actually get up there with them? As you see, Zach Jarvis now take P6 as he crosses the line. Now going forward with VTSR Storm, going to be the next person to cross the line. This will be his final run in qualifying as he will cross the line with the checkered flag. Will he improve inside the top 10? No, he will not. He will take P12. Surely that's got to be disappointing for the Mercedes driver, as now Craig is going to be also the next car to finish qualifying. Will he improve inside top 10? Yes, he will. He will take P9, pushing MCFC out of the top 10. As Truth NLP goes up to P3.
Tell you what, you might want to go on board with Gazzaman though, because he was a 10th up through the middle first sector, I believe it was. Apologies, or middle, and now going to the end of the middle sector. Oh, he seems to be a second down on his lap time, so I think he might have made a mistake through the middle sector, and that might have cost him pole position here. He's still gonna run. He's still gonna go to the end. He's gonna make a run to the end of the line, but not sure if... Yeah, he's backed off, and that's really unfortunate, but it looks like a Salty Bear has stayed safe at the front of the grid and kept his pole position, only by just a 10th though.
As Indecisive pushes Jess down to P15. So a very interesting qualifying with a Salty Bear taking pole position, Gazzaman only a 10th behind, very close. Truth NRP taking up P3, very good from the Ferrari driver. Then Liam in P4, VSMT Adam in P5, Zach Jarvis in P6, 7th is Astronauty, 8th Kingen, 9th Craig Senna. Then in 10th we do have TJW 77 in the Racing Point, and then rounding outside the top 10 we have MCFC 2020 in the Williams, Alex Lilliart, VTSR Storm, Indecisive, Jess Gamer, Alpha, and Jacko starting last in the Alpha and Romeo. Very interesting qualifying.
Yeah, interesting indeed, but it seems to be another textbook result for Salty Bear getting another pole position. But I think some of the showstoppers here tonight for this qualifying session has definitely been Adam and Gazzaman. Of course, Gazzaman, 5/10 gap to Truth NRP. Where's this pace come from? Because Gazzaman, he's been up there with these guys, but he just doesn't seem to have the pace to keep up with them throughout the rest of the race. But with a gap like that, he's going to be fighting for the win here tonight. Hopefully, I don't commentators curse him, but we just got to wish him the best of luck. And of course, that was VSMT Adam in the Mercedes getting 5th place. I believe that was his best result in qualifying this season, so really good result from him as well. Hopefully he can transfer that into the race and get some really good points on the board for the Mercedes team.
Yes, very much so. As now we go into the race, all drivers inside top 10 will be starting on the soft compound. Will we see any drivers outside the top 10 though, start on the mediums, try and do an alternate strategy? Because then towards the end, having the softer compound will give them that extra pace advantage. But it depends whether the other drivers ahead will choose to use another set of softs later on in the Grand Prix. We will have to wait out and see.
But of course, as we are waiting for these drivers to sort out their strategy, we'll run through one of the sponsors. We do have Next Level Racing. They of course provide all sim racing gear and have helped us sponsor for some of the rewards you get for some of the season, of course the trophies. And we even have one hub, a very unique reward, which is called the Going Gets Tough Award, where not just the champions, but no, the champions don't win this award. It's actually everyone who doesn't win the championship this season can fight for this award, where if you just attend every single race and of course interact with every single bit of media day, you are in for a shout to get a Next Level Racing stand. So it's very nice from Next Level Racing to sponsor that, and of course, keep interacting with Media Day, attend all your races, and you could be in the running for a next level racing stand.
Very interesting. I'm sorry to butt in, but quickly, MCFC, Jess and Storm are all starting on the hard compound. Wouldn't expect to see them tyres being used this race. Very interesting.
Yeah, I definitely didn't expect to see hard tyres come any. I wouldn't even expect the hard tyres to trade these drivers' thoughts. As Zach Jarvis and Adam get disqualified, that's going to be very difficult for these drivers. It's going to definitely cost their start a little bit, but I don't think it will affect them too much. This game isn't that realistic in that end, but yeah, MCFC boy Storm and Just Gamer going onto the hard compound of tyres to start this race. I wonder what their strategy will be. They're more than likely going to go for a hard softs, but they're really going to have to push to be able to keep up, because those hard tyres are just dog, aren't they?
Yes, they are, because as we noticed, the top, as I was on board with Salty at the start, it gave me his predicted strategy, and it was soft, medium, soft, and the softs weren't wearing out too much on that graph, so it seems that soft, medium, soft is going to be very good for these drivers. So using the hards is a very odd strategy, I would say, because in any race with mandatory 2-stop, I would never think of using the hards, as VTSR Storm and Indecisive have been disqualified from the formation lap. Must have been for a collision, but them 4 drivers are all going to be on very cold tyres now as we do go to the line. Salty Bear now lining up on the grid. Interestingly enough, both Mercedes have been disqualified from the formation lap, so very interesting.
Yeah, they just seem to be very cursed at the moment, no matter where they are on the grid, but hopefully Adam isn't affected too much, and Zach Jarvis by the cold tyres, and so is Storm and Indecisive.
Can we get a good camera view, please? There we go. As we now head to 5 red lights. It's lights out, and away we go. A very slow start from the drivers there, but Gaza gets a very good start on Salty Bear, running side by side. Gaza keeping that lead off of Salty now. Salty's going to go round the outside, very close between the two, as there is a safety car deployed.
Yes, we've only got 2 corners of racing and the safety car's already been deployed. Just having a look at the TAS system, it seems that there were quite a bit of collisions. Of course, that Jarvis hit Liam, Senna hit TJ, and Adam hitting Craig Senna, so seems to have been a lot's happened in the first corner, but no DNFs at the moment, so I wonder what the safety car is out for. Maybe there's just a lot of debris on track at the moment.
Yes, as Kingen, Indecisive and VTSR Storm have all got a time penalty of... Whoa, Indecisive and Storm have got 10 seconds worth of time penalties, and Kingen has got 5 seconds. Oh dear.
Yeah, it seems as though they just made contact with each other, and that's what caused them to get a large penalty. But that's really gonna hinder them now. 10 seconds. But of course, they do have the safety car, so they can get rid of that. I believe they can stop goals under a safety car, can't they?
Yes, they can, but they won't be able to serve all 10 seconds at once, if I remember rightly. So it could be very interesting. As we do notice that Red Bull is missing half of its front wing, so we most likely see Zach pitting in. Just trying to look if there's any other drivers, and a Racing Point with half a front wing. So very interesting. And Craig, and has MCFC boy got any damage? Looks to not have. No, he has not. Indecisive, no damage on that Haas car. VTSR, yep, VTSR Storm has got damage as well. So a load of drivers here have got damage, as currently sat in last place is Jess Gamer. So very interesting, as we do have the leaders are pitting in off them soft tyres and are going onto the medium, so getting one stop out of the way already, as the Red Bulls have double stacked. That is very interesting. Zach Jarvis will lose a load of time there. That is not good from the Red Bull mechanics, of course, because we don't have the realistic double stacking here, as the whole grid is in the pit lane, apart from Jacko and Alex Lilliart. So very interesting.
Yeah, of course, under the safety car. Whenever a safety car comes out in one of these one-hub races, of course with the mandatory two-stop, it's like a safety car could be a blessing in disguise for some because essentially it's a free pit stop. So these guys are definitely utilizing that, and looks like they're going to be running, I believe, a medium-hard strategy to the end, or even a medium-medium if they can manage their tires.
I would say it's more likely to be a medium, but you could be right with the hards, as the mediums could wear out, because some drivers with that more aggressive driving style could put more wear on the tyres as quicker than others. But as we do see, Indecisive has gone onto the hard compound, as most drivers have served their 5 seconds, and Storm have and Indecisive have served half their penalties so far. But interestingly enough, Alex Lilliard is now leading the Grand Prix.
Yeah, this is going to be a new sight for the Haas driver. I don't think he's led a lap at all this season, but I don't think that's going to last very long. Or maybe it will if he can push and manage to get a gap, because he does have the tyre advantage, but he has the Salty Bear, Gazman, Juve NRP all behind him, so it's not going to be an easy task. These drivers are very quick in their own... these drivers are very quick.
Yes, Alex Lilliard Art has gone up 11 positions off of the start, and Jacko has gone up 12 positions, so very good from them, getting the best start they could. Alpha's also up 8 positions, but very good from them drivers, but that is due to not pitting in. Could we see Alex Lilliard pitting in this lap to try and get rid of them soft, or will we see him stay out?
I think if they have the chance to pit... Zach Jarvis picks up a penalty for colliding with Alpha. His race is just going from bad to worse at the moment,
as he has got damage.
Again. It's a shame for the Red Bull driver, but he does still have another lap of safety car, and I believe this safety car will be out for another lap after this one, so I believe he will have time to catch back up. But that's really going to be a shame, especially for Alpha as well, who's got up 9 positions, as he says. He's done really well. I don't think he qualified because he usually is a front runner in the qualifying sessions, but up 9 positions right now, and I believe he did take the free pit stop, so he's still in contention to get a good result here. A podium is definitely on the card to him. As Zach Jarvis leaves the session, he gives up, which is... it's understandable, to be fair, but you shouldn't really give up in the league race, especially when it's still so early on. There's going to be more safety cars.
Yes, the race isn't won within the first 5 laps. Well, in this case, 3 laps. The race isn't finished. You've got to go on to the end because you can never know what happened. A late safety car later in the race could have brought him up into the podium positions, who knows? But leaving that Grand Prix has closed that gap for him. So, as we now see, this safety car will most likely be inside the pit lane this lap, because the fact of, apart from him, every driver is on the back of the safety car now.
Yeah, I'm beginning to think maybe he didn't completely leave because he's on the hard tyres and he is only ghosting. He just left the session, so maybe he just lagged out, but I think he probably is done for the race because of what happened, but hopefully he can join back in if he truly hasn't quit.
Yes, as Zach Jarvis has actually said in the chat, this game is a bloody joke. So that is not good from him.
Yeah, it doesn't seem he's going to be coming back then, it's unfortunate. But it does seem like the safety car might be staying out for another lap. No, never mind.
Safety car is in this lap. We'll go on board with a Salty Bear on the medium tyres. See how good of a start he can get off of this restart. Alex backing the pack up so the safety car can get into the pit lane and out of the way, and then we can go under green flag conditions, as Zach has joined back. So as us saying that he wasn't going to join back, he has joined back.
Yeah, it's good on him to keep the fight, because it's definitely not over yet, but yeah, this looks like we're going back onto the restart, clearly leaving, and he's gone, and looks like he's caught Salty Bear napping, as he's able to pull a 5/10 gap already. Of course, everyone using their overtake. It seems as if though Lilliard is going to be safe heading into turn 1. What about further down the grid? Do we have anyone making moves?
Not so
far. It seems everyone has gapped everyone at the moment.
very much a single file, as we do see Astronauty was going up the inside of Craig Senna there. Or was that the Mercedes? It was the Mercedes of VSMT. Adam on them hard tyres is struggling as now Jess Gamer hits the wall.
Further up the grid, it seems nobody's making moves on anyone. They seem to manage the gaps quite well, but they are all still in close contention to each other. But Liliar, he's gotten away really well. He's already pulled a bit of a gap to Soti Bear, who, if anything, Gaz seems to be closer. As it looks like Alpha's going to try and make a move around the outside of Kingan. Where's that come from? That's absolutely brave from the Renault driver, and he seems to have pulled off. What a move from him, but he's gone very deep.
As TJ... Sorry, just TJ has actually spun and crashed. He has not got any damage, but that is not good from the Racing Point driver, as VTSR Storm is down in last, as we have a virtual safety car.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there, because I went on board with TJ just as he said it, but Alpha's already down positions, and I don't know if he's got wing damage, because... yeah, he's got no front wing, so that's really unfortunate for him, because he got such a good start. He hits the barrier going into turn 15. It's really unfortunate for him, but the Williams drivers at the moment, 6th and 7th, really good restart from the drivers, up 2 and 4 positions. Hopefully these guys can work well together and keep that gap and keep these positions, because that's really going to be really good points for these drivers.
Yes, as I would just quickly like to know, my game is now glitched because the intervals, oh here we go, the intervals are now coming back in, but for that lap then we had no intervals, so we couldn't tell how close the drivers were. As we now go back under green flag racing, Salty Bear is right on the back of that Haas. That Haas starting to struggle a bit on them softs, do we see? But now Salty Bear will go for a move, going to go round the outside of Alex Lilliart. As Alex Lilliart backs out of it. Oh, and he crashes into him! Alex Lilliart has crashed. Lost his front wing. Did he not expect a Salty Bear to break that early? Who knows? Could we see a virtual safety car or even a full safety car again? Hopefully not.
I don't think the yellow flags are going to come out that quickly. That's really unfortunate for Lilliart. He was in such a good position. I think that was just a miscommunication between the two drivers, leaning a little more towards Lilliart, but that's just really unfortunate for him. Down into P11 and still have to make a couple of pit stops, so that might be game over for him.
Yeah, as Indecisive has just let Alpha by, as he did go into the wall but has got no damage, luckily. But I'm gonna go on board with Gazerman being 1.2 seconds away from Salty Bear, but then he has also got Truth right on the back of him, only 5/10. So this could be a very close fight between the Ferrari and the Honda-powered Red Bull. If this was realistic performance, the Ferrari would not stand a chance right now, but thank God for it being equal. He can push that Ferrari down the straight, being on 55% ERS. Gazman using his overtake button on 60%. Very close between the two. The gap is spreading slightly as MCFC is catching up to his teammate now. And Indecisive has dropped down a position as he has spun.
Tell you what though, Zach Jarvis, so that's what it is about not giving up. He's already into the points paying position in P9.
With the fastest lap.
Very good restart. Yes, with fastest lap as well, as he said. So he'll never give up. He's in for a good result. Further up the grid, it looks like we do have the Williams making moves on each other as MCFC boy going down the inside of Kingan in through turn 4, I believe that was.
Yes, it was.
So the Williams have switched positions.
As Lilliart... Oh, that's been the pit lane. Sorry about that.
As it's expected, he did pick up wing damage. Really unfortunate for him once again. But yeah, the Williams, they are switching positions, and it looks like that may have paid off well because MTFC boy is already pulling away from his teammate, and Craig Senna has gotten really close to the back of Kingan now.
Yes, as just like to quickly say, a Salty Bear has got about 10% more ERS than Gazerman, but also 20% more, crucially, than Truth.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to be heading into one of those DRS trains, as this game is well famously known for. So being the third man in a DRS train, especially having the lowest DRS out of the top 3, or even top 4, since Liam is technically still in this battle, it's going to be quite difficult for him late in the later stages of the races when everyone wants to make moves on each other.
Yeah, very much so. As it's getting very close between Craig Sanger and Kingdon now. He has got DRS. Ferrari now maxing out at 333 kph, but not using overtake, so there could be more in there. Right on the back of that, Williams now looking for a move going into there. Of course, not going to happen. But can he get the traction now on the exit with the DRS to get Kingdon using his overtake button? Only got 25% left as he does. Well, what was that then? Was that a game glitch or something? But Truth NRP is also right on the back of Gazzaman now. So starting to form a little train with Liam also now catching. So we have got a 4-way fight for first place right now. Very interesting.
Yeah, and it's sort of, he got a bit shaky on the tyres there, did lock up a little bit, so he might be struggling to keep these tyres in check at the moment. As yeah, he's already lost half a second, I believe that was to Gazzaman, so Gazzaman managing his tyres quite well for his. Going through castle section, seems he has gained quite a bit once again, so maybe we might see a switch for the lead, but they are about to lap. I believe that is indecisive, so Sotibe might be safe for this lap and get a bit of free ERS, unless Indecisive moves out of his way, which doesn't seem to do so. Yeah, it seems Sotibe is going to get free DRS and will be safe for the remainder of this lap time.
Yeah, as I'd also like to comment on the driver's tyre wear right now. Out of the top 4, Gaza is in the best position with tyre wear, because Salty Bear has got 21% and 19 on his rear. But
and that Senna's out. Sorry to interrupt you there, but Senna's he's made a mistake
crash
out of the left-right. Yeah, I wonder if that was a mistake made by himself or if that was contact, because that's a really big crash, especially through the left-right hander as well. I believe that's another safety car, is it?
Yes,
yeah,
it is.
Safety car's out.
As VTSR is being given a drive-through penalty. Has he got a drive-through penalty? Yes, VTSR Storm has got a drive-through penalty for speeding.
Very unfortunate for the Mercedes driver, of course.
Has he just lost his front wing?
With that Storm, he just lost his front wing there.
Yeah, going through the castle section.
Oh, it's just really unfortunate for him, but at least he does have the free safety car so he can get the pit stop. But yeah, as you were saying before, Gazzaman, he was managing his tyres the best out of these 4 drivers at the moment, which is just so typical of Gazzaman. Having his teammate in season 12, and he's from my memory, he's just been very good on his tyres and conserving his tyres. So it's not really too much of a surprise to me. But yeah, that's just throwing everything out of the water now. Of course, maybe these drivers will pit to the hards. Do you think hards will make it to the end from here?
The hards will make it to the end from here, most likely. But we could see drivers staying out on the mediums for now and taking it later on in the Grand Prix, as TJW has got a drive-through penalty for speeding under the full safety car. Sorry, I was about to say virtual. So 2 drive-through penalties just being given out as Craig has left the session after that sad crash for him. Not the best result he would have wanted, but hopefully coming back next week as VTSR Storm has retired in the pit lane.
It's just heartbreak for the Mercedes and Ferrari team at the moment. 2 of their drivers already out of the race. It's not going to help them in their respective constructors' battles, but of course, Ferrari, they still have a very sizable gap compared to McLaren running in P2, so I believe they are safe for this week. But it's really just going to hinder them. Now it's all down to Truth to see how he can essentially carry the team to get the most out of this race, points-wise.
Yeah, very much so. But yeah, as Salty Bear will be coming onto the back of the safety car now.
Liam. Is that a glitch, or did Liam just straight line into the back? Liam just straight line into the back of Truth NRP. I'm not sure if he picked up damage for that, but
he did. He picked up 95% on his front right. Yes, on his front right wing, he's picked up 95% damage.
I wonder what was going through Liam's head there, whether he was in AI or just wasn't concentrating, but that's essentially game over for Liam in the race for the win. So And he's even hindered Truth NRP, so I wouldn't be surprised if that gets headed into the steward's office. So it's really unfortunate for Truth, and just 3 positions for the Williams drivers once again, running in 5th and 6th. I believe this is their best result this season so far. So it's going really well for these 2 drivers at the moment, but don't think anyone really pitted throughout this safety car stint. Unless they had damage.
Very much so. As so far, if the race was to finish right now, Gaza will jump up to 4th in the championship with 63 points. A Salty Bear will keep 1st in the championship, and people like Craig Senna will lose a position in the championship. So, not looking good for some drivers in the championship, but looking better for others.
Yeah, definitely. As looks like we are in for another lap of the safety car. It might be a good time right now to talk about another one of One Hub sponsors. We do have Vespertin. They are a power brand, and of course are sponsoring our trophies this season for the top 3 drivers and constructors champions. So shout out to them, and thank you for continuing to support the league.
As we now see, Liam does pit in. What tyres will he go on to? Let's see.
Surely got to be hard to the ends, right? I don't think mediums can last 16 laps.
He is taking the hards to the end. But so if he's serving that 5-second first, so that could cost him a lot of time. As most likely Jess might jump him. Yeah, Jess will jump her teammate. Now Jess...
Pull Liam to the back of the grid, actually.
Yes. Now Liam
Jess...
is outside the points.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate for him, but I don't think he's going to be there long. Neither Alpha or Lily are, now that the field are going to be so close together. But you have Jess right now. She's running in P10. And of course she's only got 1 point this season, but I believe she... Now in running in the top 10, she's going to get a lot more points on the board, obviously. So she's doing really well at the moment. Depends how long she'll last there, especially when she has Lilia and Alpha and Liam behind her, who are all formidable drivers. So
yes, and also being on 6 lap old hard, I wouldn't imagine that she'll be able to take her hards to the end, because they'll just die off within a few laps. Of course, 16 laps left to go, them hards will most likely not make it.
Probably so. Whenever I've run hard, I don't think I've run hard on this circuit, but whenever I've run hard, they just never seem to die off. So maybe with some good time management, she'll be able to take those to the end of the race. Of course, she has done her 2 stops, so she wouldn't be getting disqualified if she did go to the end of the race. It will just be how she can manage her tires. I'm not sure if she'll really fight these guys, but especially her teammate. But hopefully she can get some more points on the board for her and the Alpha Tauri team.
Yeah, very much so. As we should see next lap, not this lap, but next lap, safety car will come in, because we're still waiting for Indecisive to catch back up to the grid, as of course they were going to be lapped, but they are now having to unlap themselves, so of course we're going to have to wait for them to complete the whole lap before the safety car can actually come in. Although I have seen times in the past where Burt Mylander in the Mercedes AMG GTR has pulled in early when not everybody's close together, so we could see that happen if they don't catch up in time.
Definitely so, but of course running through your penalties, we still only have 2 drivers that have picked up penalties. True, if he opts to stay out and not take the 5-second penalty under the safety car, which is understandable. He can pull a bit of a gap and for his final pit stop. But that's, once again, last time out he did take a 5-second penalty in Brazil, so it's just more bad luck. Of course this one wasn't really his fault. And we also have Adam, who's still running in the points, to be fair, he's deep in the points, but with a 5-second time penalty he's really going to have to push to be able to keep those points positions. And we also have TJW who has a drive-through penalty, which was unfortunately unable to serve under the safety car. So unfortunately, he will be at the back of the grid. Oh, and he's hit the back of Zach Jarvis.
Zach Jarvis has now got a 5-second time. Yeah. We could see there that hopefully if he doesn't pit in again, that Zach gets that time penalty removed.
Oh, he picked up another penalty.
For colliding with Adam. So now it puts him on 10 seconds worth of time penalties.
It's just coming from bad to worse this race. Nothing has really gone well for him. But still in 8th position, there's still a long way left in this race to go on. I'm not sure this is the final safety car. This will be...
Oh! I see he's crashed out on purpose. I'm not sure you're allowed to do that, Zach. You should have retired in the pit lane.
Yeah, but I think he'll still
that safety car will be in this lap.
He'll definitely get penalised. I think... I'm not sure what the value of penalty is for doing something like that, especially since it's not really hindering the race because we was under the safety car. But yeah, just really bad luck from Zach Jarvis. Hopefully he'll have better luck next week as we get back to the race.
Yes, very much so. Salty Bear now really backing up the pack. The pack is very much up now. As he goes, caught Gaza a bit napping there, but now Truth NRP is right on the back of Gaza using his overtake button now, but Gaza's got a slightly higher top speed, looking for a move to try and put Gaza off there, but will he try him going round the outside then? No, he does not. That was very close then, as we do see Astronauty and Kingen going side by side. That Alfa Romeo keeping the position so far as Kingen does back out of it and give them position to Astronauty. But Truth NRP is right on the back of Gaza, but Gaza's also right on the back of a Salty Bear. Is Gaza looking for a move there? No, he is not. He did look, but he wasn't going to do for it, as Liam is now past Jess.
Yeah, it's quite a tame start for the top 3 drivers as MCFC boy hits the inside barrier, going through the left-hander. Of course, Gazaman placing his car very well to be able to block off Truth NRP, and even had a little bit of a look to a Salty Bear, but he just wasn't close enough. But Astronauty, once again, showing his more aggressive side, making a forcible move down the inside of King, and a very nice move to separate the Williams drivers. And it's Astronauty once again. He does have promise in this race to get even a podium perhaps, because he does have pace at the moment. He'll just have to manage his tyres and get to the end of the race, of course.
As Alpha F1 has gone up the inside of the Haas driver, forcing his way past, but a good move from the Renault driver there, getting the move done when it's needed. As now Liam is on the back of the Renault driver, not the Renault, the Haas, sorry, after...
Oh, an MDFC boy's out!
Whoa!
He's crashed at turn 19, lost the traction, and that's another virtual safety car. Turn 18 and 19 sequence seem to be big, really bad for these drivers at the moment. They just seem to be struggling to get the grip.
Yeah, Astronauty and Truth NRP have pitted in.
So I think they're going to try to take mediums to the end of the race, because I believe at this point they probably can. As Astronauty, he picked up wing damage, so maybe that's why he's boxed this lap. So nearly a free pit stop for him, but that's really put him out of contention for a good result, I think. But that's Kingan up into P3 and Adam up into P4. So the 2 drivers who you usually see in the midfields really are in podium positions, and that's just the surprise he gets. Astronauty picks up a drive-through penalty as we're back on the green flag racing. But yeah, these 2 drivers in P3 and P4, that's just the surprise the street circuit can bring to you. You know, give drivers that are not usually in contentions for these podiums and positions a surprise result, and they're up there.
Yeah, it certainly is interesting to see what is like going on in this Grand Prix, with the street circuit nature being, like you say, very awkward as well, because Jacka there making a bit of a mistake, obviously braking a bit late, but it seems to be struggling on the mediums right now. Jacko's tyres are 25 and 27 on the rear worn, so you would imagine they're not going to be too bad on damage, but still struggling on them. But right over the back of Indecisive now, looking at him. Will he get him down the main straight with his DRS? But I don't know. But overtake mode definitely. So he's got a full battery nearly, as DRS is enabled now. A salty pair is going to cross the line. Oh, Indecisive has made a mistake going through turn 19.
It looks like Salty Bear, he's gone as an indecisive pit. I believe that was because of wing damage from that mistake you mentioned earlier, but Salty Bear, he's already 1.6 seconds in front of Gazzaman, so he's really shot away, and a very good restart from the virtual safety car for him. And Gazzaman, maybe, I think he'll definitely want to try go for the win here, but he has shown that he can manage his tyres, so maybe that's what he's going to go for, the route he's going to go down. Maybe catch him towards the end of the race in the final stint. In the midfield though, we do have Liam. He's gotten very close to the back of Alpha. Of course, Alpha up 11 positions as he picks up wing damage. Unfortunately, once again, it seems every driver I think we mentioned seems to be getting some sort of hinder to them, so I apologize for that. But Alpha picked up wing damage, so it's really going to be struggling towards the end of this race unless he pits in and gets a new front wing.
Yes, as Truth NRP is now hunting down after Jess. Of course, he is caught up very close already to Jess. Oh, as Jacko has gone into the wall and lost their end plate.
It just goes wide, and Truth NRP just capitalizes on her mistake and is up into P9, P8. And Alpha is gonna box, and he's gonna box this lap. He can't continue on his damaged car. Really unfortunate for him. He's having such a good race as well.
Very much so, as we have now got 11 laps left of this Grand Prix.
Looks like we do have a battle for thirds rising here between Kingan and Adam. Adam getting very close to the back of Kingan, but he is on the harder compound of tyres. But at this point, they've done 12 laps each on their tyres, so Adam technically has the ball in his court at the moment and would want to get the move done as early as possible to Kingan, so he doesn't get held up that much and allow Liam to catch up to them, of course.
Yeah, very much so. But yeah, coming into the castle section now, both drivers choosing to avoid the inside curb. Very intriguing though, the amount of safety cars we have had in this Grand Prix so far. But of course I've got to expect it in a way, with it being a street circuit and walls being so close to the track.
Yeah, we've had a few safety cars over the season, but yeah, we've not had this much, which is, yeah, as you said, to be expected. Of course, Baku, I'd not even say it's even more difficult than Monaco sometimes, because yeah, you just carry a lot more speed, so it's easier to make mistakes. But on the back straight, we do have the battle of P3. We have Adam. He's gained a lot of speed on Kingan, and it's going to make a move down the inside. Kingan, he tried to match him, but Adam was easily able to outbrake him and gets the move done, and is up into P3. But can Kingan maybe fight back? Adam gets a superior exit and is up into P3, and he'll have to charge a little bit, because he does have that 5-second time penalty, so he just has to pull a gap. Unless he is, of course, going to the end of the race, which I don't think really is possible.
Very much so, as the track has split up quite a lot now, with only being one close battle on track right now, and that's between Jess and Jacko. Jacko, of course, with DRS on the back. Oh, almost going into the back of Jess there. Very close from the drivers, but Jacko, with having 38% rear tyres now, and them 10 lap old mediums, and then Assaulty Bear and Gazman being equal almost with 45, 49, 43 and 48 on their rears. So it's looking like it's soon going to be Salty and Gazman pitting in to get rid of them medium tyres.
I mean, wonder what tyres they're gonna try to go for. If Gazman or Salty will try make an undercut and make mediums lost in the end, or whether they'll try make their mediums run a little bit longer just to get those fresh soft compound of tyres on for the final stint of this race and really have a big advantage.
Yes.
But oh, and that's Jacko. He's going deep once again. He's really pushing the limits of his car when it comes to braking at the moment.
As Kingen is now pit in, he was on 56% on his rear tyres, plus he has got damage, so has Jacko. They both have 25% damage on their front left wing, part of the wing, as Truth NRP has set the fastest lap of the Grand Prix of 5.55, 43.555. So very intriguing from the Ferrari driver, considering Carlos Sainz's number is 55, so...
What a wonderful coincidence that is. As further down the grid we have Alpha is going round the outside of Jacko. Jacko chooses to back out, of course. And that means Alpha does jump Kingen. So I think if these drivers in front of them are still yet to pit, Alpha is still in a really good position as he's going to make an easy move even before the braking zone on Jess. Jess chooses to not fight that one either. As Alpha is now up into P6, so still respectable. He's still going to get a good haul of points. But I think it's just the top three who are still yet to pit. And I think they're still like I still think they're too far ahead to what's it called, for Alpha to catch them in a pit stop. We do have Kingen. He's getting very close to the back of the Alpha Tauri of Jess. He's gonna have to wait and bide his time.
As I would also like to comment, since the start of this Grand Prix, the air and track temperature have dropped by a degree, so this could be, I know it's not a lot, but that degree could be helping the drivers with their tyres, meaning that medium tyres won't be as grippy slightly, but the softs are going to gain advantage with less wear due to this. But as we now see, a Salty Bear will pit in soon, as he goes into the back of Jess.
And I definitely saw an end plate leave his car, so he does have a sizable amount of damage there. That's really important.
Yes, he has 51% damage.
Yeah, it's just from what was going so well with the Williams drivers running in 4th and 5th at one point, so one car out and another one who I'm sure will have to be pitting this lap, but he chooses not to.
Yes.
And he gets past Jess with relative ease. Jess doesn't fight it.
We may see a Salty Bear and Gaza being very soon, as their rear tyres, the highest that they've got, are 56%, reaching that 60% range, so we could see him pit in soon and fit this soft compound, because in my opinion they should go to the soft compound and take them to the end. Sorry to interrupt you there, but Alex Lilly, I just ran into the back of Jess and that caused them both to pick up wing damage. That's really, I believe that was more to Lilliard's. I saw that late on Lilliard's onboard, but it seems he just was a miscommunication between the two drivers. Lilliard tried to pull to the left to make the move and didn't turn in enough, I don't think, and that's really cost them both. He's just threaded the needle and gone through the middle of them all.
Yeah, I saw that was a really, really daring move from Astronauti, but he made it work. But yeah, that's just really unfortunate for Jess. He was running in a really good points position and is unfortunately out of the race.
Sad news now for Jess. She is now
going to cause a virtual safety car.
No, safety car. A full safety car. Salty Bear and Gaza will be in for the soft compound to take them to the end. So very interesting from them now.
Yeah,
will we see any driver stay out?
Hard to follow as well.
Truth NRP's come in. Will Alpha follow and go in? As Alpha seems to have... Sorry, Alpha seems to have lime green damage because he has got 12% damage on the front left wing.
Oh no, Gazzaman's made a mistake and the strategy once again. As Gazzaman's gone onto the medium compound of tyres, so he's gonna be, unless he pits in again and gets some fresh soft tyres and doesn't lose that much ground, he's I'd say he's out of the running for a podium position here.
I think it might, yeah. Gazman is out of he's out of his opportunities now. I've got to say, a stellar start for Alpha F1 for this whole Grand Prix. Starting in 16th, now being in P6, 10 positions up from where he started. That is very good from the Renault drivers. He now comes out the pit lane on the soft compound with a new front wing as well. So he'll be able to show max pace now. Oh, hitting the wall though. Not seeming to get any damage though, luckily. As he does, he has got lime green damage. 12% damage on that front wing.
That's really unfortunate for him as well, but I don't think lime green damage, I think that actually does, although it may not sound like it, does actually leave a big effect on your car, doesn't it?
It does. It causes the car to be very skittish sort of thing, so it doesn't feel stable. Especially being on the right hand side, going into left hand corners, he will struggle, because that end will be having such uneven amounts of downforce, causing the car to be very unstable going through the corners now. But the most effective part will be turn 18 and 19. He will struggle the most through there with that damage.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate for him, especially since he's having such a good recovery drive. I don't think he did qualify. I think he joined the session a little late, so he was having a really good comeback drive through the grid. He's still in a good position to get very good points, but he just really hindered himself there. But in Gazman, he stays out on the mediums. I think he did have a free pit stop, but that would have maybe put him down to 6th or 7th. So he's gonna try brave the storm on the medium compound, and maybe that just might work. Maybe the soft tires will like die out after 3-4 laps, and he'll just have the advantage towards the final lap of the race. But he's really gonna have to defend hard, isn't he?
He is, as I'm just going to comment on the fact of, look at Alpha F1's pit stops. He has pitted in 5 times this Grand Prix.
Yeah, that's a lot of stops, of course. But luckily, I think most of them were under the safety car, so he did get away with them. And yeah, 5 stops, that's just intense, isn't it?
It is, it's very intense. Something you wouldn't expect from somebody who's currently sat in P6. But that's the thing as well, all drivers here are guaranteed at least to get 1 point now, as long as they finish this Grand Prix.
Yeah, of course, the new point system in One Hub giving more drivers a chance to grab points finishes, and it does tighten the championship battle, because the winner, I believe, receives less points. So he will be so he doesn't pull away as much as he usually would on the normal point system, but that doesn't really seem to be bothering a Silty Bear at all, as he just continues to dominate this tier. Leading the race still, is doing very well at the moment.
Yes, very much so. As we're now on lap 20 out of 26, we're going to have 5 full laps of racing if this safety car pulls in next lap. If not, it will be 4 laps full racing sort of thing. So this is going to be a very short sprint to the end now. The safety car will be in next lap most likely. As we do see, the Alpha is backing off a bit to kind of keep the safety car out for another lap. Because of course, okay, Alex Lilliard is, I know he's got control of his car now. He was just ghosted. Wonder if he was in AI there. The safety car will be in next lap.
Yeah, that's probably gonna frustrate Gazman even more now, because he's gonna have less time for those medium tires to really kick in and have the advantage over the soft tires. So it's really gonna be unfortunate for him, but I think that's probably the least of his worries at the moment, especially when he has drivers like Liam and Truth behind him, who this season have proved that they are definitely on the more aggressive side when it comes to overtaking, especially Liam. So although Liam and Gazman are friends, I don't think they're going to be very friendly here in the dying grounds of this Azerbaijan Grand Prix at all.
Yeah, very much so, because Liam's going to want to get past the medium runner. and push to get a Salty Bear. But if you think about it, the time that Liam spends getting past Gaza, a Salty Bear could pull away from them all. So it's very interesting.
Yeah, Salty Bear. I think the last time he led a safety car, though, this was in the previous round, I believe, Abu Dhabi. He did spin, but he was still able to recover and get a good result in P2. And this season, Salty Bear has been making a lot of mistakes that did cost him victories, as I said earlier on in the stream. But he seems to really has gotten his act together and haven't seen a spin from him in a while. So he's been doing very well to keep his car under control and truly prove his class.
Yes, as Luke has said, crucial for Liam to get past Gaza ASP. He is right there because, but if you think about it though, a Salty Bear, in that time that Liam's going to get past Gaza, a Salty Bear can pull away and create a gap between them. Yes,
the safety car is in this lap, so
yep.
it's gonna be a 5-lap sprint to the end of the Grand Prix when the new lap begins. So this is gonna be a very hectic 22nd lap, I do think.
Very much so, with most drivers being on the soft compound, going to be able to use max pace at all times. Everybody having a 100% charge. Gaza has got overtake enabled, ready to go. But he's got very cold tyres as he does restart well, as Truth overtakes Liam but then lets Liam back through. Very interesting there. But Liam has got a good restart, but Gazza's got an even better one, being right on the back of the Salty Bear. He looks for a move going into turn one but cannot make one stick as that medium compound are not as grippy as this off.
Kingan, sorry for that, but Kingan, he just completely missed his braking point and just... And I think he got a bit of wing damage or maybe hit someone.
He has got damage. He's got 25% damage on his front right, so that's very interesting. So, as Jacko has also dropped to Alex Lilliart. But VSMT Adam
dive down the inside of Truth.
Squeeze him into the wall though. Oh, Truth is locked up there. VSMT Adam taking the move, but now Liam is all over the back of Gaza. Gaza's 7/10 behind a Salty Bear.
And Alpha capitalizes on that battle between Truth and Adam. I mean, yeah, and he's up into P6 overtaking Truth. That's a nightmare start for Truth at the moment, but Adam, mate, what a move. I give you that one, that he absolutely sent it and made it stick. I don't think there was much contact between the two of them, so I think it was all fair, but Adam really getting his elbows out, isn't he?
He is, very much so, but that's the thing you got to do around Baku, is the fact of, if you don't get your elbows out and go for the move, you could be potentially just sat there losing time to the other cars and just throw away what could have been a good race for yourselves. As now Liam is right over the back of Gazman. Gazman holding Liam behind though he's on the mediums and Liam being on the softs. But now down the straight they're going to be very much equal with that Honda power. Noting that Gaza is using his overtake button, has got slightly less ERS than Liam, but Liam has slightly gained there. The Salty Bear sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix on that soft compound. Very interesting right now.
Yeah, it looks like no moves were really made into turn one. The closest I think was Jacko on the back of Lilliard, but nothing really done as Salty Bear. He's already pulled a 1.8 second gap to Gazaman. So yes, not really a surprise judging the tyre gap. So Salty Bear would have a lot more pace, but Gazaman, he's doing really well to defend from Liam at the moment, especially on the harder compound. He's doing really well, and Adam, he's pulled a gap to Alpha, so Adam really showing that he's actually got a bit of pace in his locker towards the back then. Maybe he could get a podium if he can get close enough to Liam.
Yeah, very much so. As I will say right now, VSMT Adam has got the fastest first sector, so that's very interesting. Could we see Adam go for a fast lap of the Grand Prix? As Alex Lilliard has got... Oh! Ooh. Crashed in the castle section and has lost part of their front wing. They have actually got 100% damage on that front right, but I'm going to go back on board with Liam right on the back of Gazaman. It's very close between them right now. As Alex Lilliart has got... Is that more damage on that Haas car? No, it's just let the drivers through. Very sad for Alex Lilliart, but better off going to the Grand Prix. I'm now going to go on board with Astronauty being only 3/10 behind Truth NRP. Got a lot less... No, Truth NRP has got a lot less ERS than Astronauty. Can we see Astronauty go for a move, going down into turn 1? He looks for it. Does he send it on this? Yes, he does. He sends it up the inside. Truth NRP, though, getting the cut back, leaving the space for Astronauty. But Astronauty sending it then did not work for him.
An astronaut, he tried to make a diving move down the inside, which he likes to do in these races, but it's just not, he just couldn't get the brakes locked on enough, and Truth NRP really did get a switchback, a really nice switchback. He was able to read it very well and is able to keep P6. But it looks like Gazzaman, he's really holding his own against Liam at the moment. I think he's running more of a low downforce setup, so he has a lot more power on the straights compared to Liam, because Liam just doesn't be catching at all.
Yeah, very much so. So this could be the final top 3 of the Grand Prix, as Liam slightly cutting the corner there, but looking very good for them.
Luke in the chat saying, what a diss Haas. Oh dear. Getting the puns out already before the Haas drivers, but yeah, they really did have a miscommunication there, and it did cost them both to lose a position to Jacko. He was running in 10th. I think that is, so far he's on for his best result this season. I've not really checked, so I could be wrong, but he has had a solid race at the moment. Just, you know, you got to keep it alive, keep the car alive, and you'll get points. Especially at tracks like this where you can get points and capitalize on other people's mistakes. But once again, as we go into the penultimate lap, seems to be the same story once again. Gazzaman's just holding his own to Liam, and Astronauty once again is on the back of Truth NRP. Can he try to make a move? He's got no ERS left in the tank, but he's going to try to dive down the anyway. He's going to try to dive down the inside.
Doesn't work again.
Make the same mistake.
And losing another position from that. Not smart from Astronauty there. Caused himself to lose another position.
Yeah, I think that was really do or die for him, because he had no ERS left in the tank. And I don't think he would have saved enough compared to Truth NRP to have a drag race on the final lap. So, but yeah, just really not pulled off for him, and he's already down into P8.
As VTSR Storm has left the session, but he has retired anyway. So glad to see that he stayed to watch the final parts of this Grand Prix, but still got 1 lap left to go now. With Truth NRP, his rear tyres are majorly worn. I would just like to comment on, as his rear tyres are on 54 and 59% tyre wear. So very interesting there. So that's why Truth NRP is struggling for pace.
I think the closest, but I think, yeah, Gazzaman has gained a tiny bit on the Soti Bear, but I don't think it's going to be enough. We do have one lap left after this straight, and I think at this point it's all just the Soti Bears to lose, really. He's got a nice comfortable gap.
He has.
But then again, this is a long lap. Of course, in the 40s, anything could happen in that time. Oh, and as an astronaut, he's another driver to bite the dust for turn 18s and 19s.
Just go on board his teammate to see if we can see what's happened. It's the next person to go through, as he has just crashed going down the straight. That is a very weird way that he has crashed, but no virtual safety car or safety car, as it is the last lap of the Grand Prix.
Yeah, I think this field is quite spread out between each other. I think the only driver that could really make a move and catch up is Liam to Gazzaman, but Gazzaman is just, he's managed his exits very well, and of course he does seem to have a low downforce setup, so he has a lot more power on the straight compared to Liam, and Liam loses the traction, but he does have a safe enough gap for Adam to not really come under threat. At the moment, Gazzaman 1.3 seconds, 1.4 now to a Soti Bear. Soti Bear's tyres really are dying, and I think, yeah, we are hitting the crossover point for the medium tyres to become quicker, but yeah, if only the safety car was in 1 lap earlier, Gazzaman could have actually had a chance. He's about to get within a second of Soti Bear, actually.
Can he catch up in time to a Salty Bear to get past him? Now, like you say, within the second gap right now, going into the final corners now. It's going to be a close finish between them. He's using up all his overtake button. Same is a Salty Bear. But it seems like he's going to lose it by 1.1 seconds. Because he didn't go into the correct compound. But what a race win for a Salty Bear, who will take the Grand Prix win here at Azerbaijan. Almost said Abu Dhabi there by accident. And Liam rounds out the top 3. Then VSMT Adam. Then Alpha F1 in P5. Truth NRP taking up P6. 7th taken by Kingen. TJW in 8th. Jacko's going to take 9th. Indecisive will take 10th. And Alex Lilliart will take last place, 11th.
So all drivers picking up points, and I've got to hand it to them. Kudos to these drivers for not picking up a track penalty, for picking up too many warnings. Really good drive from them. But of course, he just seems to be unstoppable at the moment. A Salty Bear taking, I believe that's his 3rd win in a row. And he's just absolutely on fire at the moment. Who can stop this man?
Very much so. And as Luke said, it is true, it is going to be tough to pick driver of the day. But who's your driver of the day? I'm going to let you go first.
I'm not sure, because I've got quite an easy pick for VSMT. I already said it already. I got an easy pick, and that's going to be VSMT Adam. Of course, he's the Mercedes driver. Adam is 10th in the standings. Not really had the strongest starts to the season, but to get a P4 is a really good result from him. And my question to him is, you've not had the best of starts to the season, but could this result prove that you are on a bit of a charge for the back end of the season? And what about you? What's your driver today going to be?
I'm gonna have to go for Alpha F1, because the fact of starting back in P16, doing a 5-stop strategy, but still finishing P5. He had a great comeback after starting from far back on the grid. My question for him would be, how did you feel during that Grand Prix, pitting in 5 times, most of them being under the safety car, but losing your wing also quite a few times? How do you feel about that? Like, what was going through your head at the time? Like, what was like the mind track? What's going through your head throughout this whole Grand Prix, pitting in 5 times to then still finish P5? Surely you've got to be happy with that.
As we round out, it's a good question, and as we round out the end of the race, we do still have the Haas drivers yet to cross the line, unless that's a glitch on my end.
This must be a glitch on my end as well. Oh, there we go. They're now finished.
Yeah. The gentleman leaves the session and the lobby is finally over. That's the end of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix.
Very much so. So this has been One Hub Racing Prospect Tier Round 6 here, Azerbaijan.
Before we go, of course, we still got to round out our top 10, find the pre-race classifications, or the pre-stewards classifications. We have a Salty Bear winning, Gazaman in 2nd, Liam rounding out your podium, Adam in 4th, Alpha in 5th, 6th is Truth, 7th is Kingen, 8th is TJW, 9th is Jacko, 10th is Indecisive, and 11th is Alex Lilliart. Those are the finishers. Of course, we have Astronauti finishes 12th, but because he DNF'd, I don't believe he will be getting a point. We have 13th in Jess. It was absolute heartbreak for her to not be able to get a point in this race. 14th we have MCFC. 15th we have Zach Jarvis. 16th we have Storm. 17th we have Craig Senna.
So yeah, it's been a very weird Grand Prix in its fact of safety cars and penalties being given out, and then at the end nobody actually finishing with a track limit penalty. But yeah, that was a very good race from a Salty Bear. But as you said, very good from VSMT and Alpha F1 from my point of view. So
yeah, and before we close off the stream, just gotta leave A little mention for our final sponsor, who was Liam RBS. Of course, you can check out his Twitch. I don't believe he was racing. I don't believe he is racing tonight, but he usually does race, and you can check out his on boards. He races in the podium too. So thank you for sponsoring and helping us provide the trophies for the champions. And of course, I'll leave it to you to round out the stream.
This was One Hub Racing Prospect Tier Round 6 here at Azerbaijan. I was Bryn, and